Okay. Ready? Right?
I think so. Yes, you can see
Okay.
the message, no?
Yeah,
To
I
record.
saw the
Okay,
message. Okay,
okay,
super.
super.
So again, I'm Laura. So I started my career in life insurance back 14 years ago in life insurance company at Bulgaria, and eventually I led the life division. So most of my work there was focused on the products, the portfolio performance, and of course, working very closely with actuarial, underwriting, and the claims teams. So over the time, I became increasingly interested in not just the products themselves and what we were doing in the life insurance company, but also in the systems that stand behind and how technology and structure can either enable or slow down business decisions. So basically, this was the trigger for me to make a change and led me into consulting and later into solutions architecture, where I currently work at where there is an intersection of business, actuarial thinking, and technology design. So this is how the switch basically occurred.
Okay, okay, interesting. Um, okay, let's start. Y si alguien tiene alguna duda, por favor,
Mhm.
pueden decirlo en español o en el chat y podemos traducirlo. Aprovechen que tenemos aquí a Laura, como invitada, ¿no? De la entrevista. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Uh, what is the skills that you consider essential for a successful career in the consulting side, no? Because this is a little different, no? The consulting, uh, let's say, responsibilities compared with with the business side. But let's start in the consulting side.
This is topic two. We
This
start
is
from.
topic. Oh, sorry, this is
Okay.
topic one. Yeah. No,
Just
sorry,
follow
sorry.
the order. Sorry.
Yeah. No, agree.
You
Yeah.
know I'm
No.
punctual.
Because it was a little strange. It was the first. No. This is the first one. Then thank you.
Okay.
But
Super.
no, it's my computer. No. Well, yeah. What is the main? This is a good question because it is not a, a common concept, no, in the academic side, no, the business consultant. So, what is the
Mhm.
main function of a
Yeah.
business consultant?
Yep. It's actually, I see it as a very complex role because I see consulting as actually helping organizations to move forward and when things are complex or unclear. So, especially in insurance, there are many smart specialists that work in these companies,
Mhm.
actuaries, underwriters, IT, but the practice shows that all these different roles don't always operate in alignment. And as a consultant, you need to step back a bit to see the bigger picture and actually to help to translate the strategy of the company into a real execution. In practice, it's often about connecting strong analytical insight that you need to have with the operational reality of the company itself. So, because the insight alone doesn't create value for the company, but the actual implementation does. So, this
Okay.
is what I consider as the main function of the consultant. Not
Okay.
just gathering the requirements, but seeing the bigger picture and supporting the organization move forward.
Yes, because as you say, it's totally different, no? The different profiles, different in the
Yeah,
client side, no?
absolutely.
Different areas, and you need to collect the whole picture with the whole different profiles, no? In order to
Mhm.
implement the solution, no? The whole solution, let's say. Okay, it's really Okay. Now, the second one, no? What type of skills do you consider essential to be a good consulting today? Obviously, in the insurance context,
Yeah,
no?
yep. A lot, I would say.
Consider
But
consider the hard and also the soft skills, no?
yeah, analytical thinking is very important, of course. But to be honest, it's no longer enough to have a key skill. So today, you need to actually understand how different functions connect. As we said, actuarial, underwriting, finance, technology. So
Mm-hmm,
consulting is a very cross-functional.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And I would say that communication is critical because one of the most complex parts, or most important rather as well, is that you need to translate the complexity into clarity for the client. This is a very tricky part.
mm-hmm,
Um, Also, increasingly, I would really underline this. You need to be very comfortable around technology, not
mm-hmm.
necessarily to be coding or to be a programmer, but you need to understand how system shape the decisions and the business models, because this is what actually in the end is important.
Because
And
you're the
I would
bridge, no?
say,
You're the
yeah.
bridge, no, between the system or the solution, the technological solution, and the operation and the final client, no, which is the users.
Mm-hmm. Correct, correct. And also, I would mark as a very strong skill the to be adaptable, because every
Mm-hmm.
client is different, every product is different, every
Mm,
company is different. So you need to be able to adapt to the client and to the company, so that
and
they can acknowledge your benefit,
mhm,
the actual client
sure,
value that you deliver to them, because
sure.
we are not just there to be present. We need to deliver value to the client.
Hmm. The actual operation between the different type of companies, and also you imagine you have worked in different countries, no? With a totally
Yes,
different
absolutely.
regulation, no?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Of course, and each time you need to prepare. You need to understand the different requirements, the different country regulations. This is one of the important and also hardest topic, because you know taxes and regulations, there are always very complex, a lot of laws, a lot of things that need
Hmm.
to be understand it before you start, etc. So
Hmm.
it's really complex pack of skills that you need to put in together.
This is in the hard side, no? In the technical skills. In the soft skills side.
In the soft skills, as we said, analytical thinking, um, adaptability, and communication. You need to be prepared to communicate and to listen actually
Mm,
to the client, because
okay.
you're not there just to tell them only how to do it, but first to understand what they actually want to achieve, because
Mm,
it very often happens that a client doesn't initially say what they want and why they want it. They need to achieve
mhm,
a goal, then you need to start asking questions. But why? Why do you need this? Is it really necessary?
mm,
And then you get to the real root cause of the request. And that this could change
okay.
the things absolutely, totally. I mean, something that could look like a huge customization or
Mhm,
implementation. Actually, the real goal was very small and can be achieved in totally different way. This is
mhm, mhm.
very important to ask questions and communicate.
Before to start, no, the implementation itself,
Absolutely.
no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah, that's why we have a lot of meetings, a lot
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
discussions. When there
Exactly.
isn't clarity, I always put it on the table. I
Mm-hmm.
don't pretend that I understand if I don't, because it's very crucial that we are
Mm-hmm.
all on the same page and we understand each other, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
I
Understood.
try to do it.
Okay. No, no, you do that. Yeah. Yes, this is the next question, no? Is about the strategy, no? Yeah, regarding the communication in the technical and non-technical sides, no? For your to your stakeholders in order
Yeah.
to just make decision, start the implementation with the let's say with the real solution, no? Let's say what type
Mhm.
of is that? What you already discussed
Mm.
the speak that no about that, but another strategy that you use to achieve that.
Um, I would say here that I always try to keep things simple and practical because, in
Okay.
fact, often the technical work is very strong, but not everyone in the room has the same background.
Mm-hmm.
So my role is rather to usually to try to translate the outcome and not the actual methodology that is going to be used. So I focus on explaining what changed, why does it matter, and what do we need to think about as a next step after we achieve this. So, for example, I
Mm-hmm.
remember during a model review, instead of going through all the technical assumptions with a particular client, so what we did was summarize the key scenarios, explaining uh, where they might have impact on their day-to-day operations. So once the people understand the practical implications, then the conversations really become like more balanced and inclusive. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone is on the same page and everyone can contribute and take actually the informed decisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taking a specific cases, no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
It's a little risky, no? Because maybe these cases doesn't reflect the not I don't know the real world, not the real operation, let's say. No, but this is well, it's a good strategy, but a little risky, but yeah, okay. Interesting. Si alguien tiene dudas o por favor ahí pónganlo en el chat o quieren que traduzca algo también, con gusto. Okay. Now a personal question, no? Your motivation around the transition from business to consultant, no? Because it's in essential it's a little it's a little the same, let's say the same business, the same sector and so on, but in general it's totally different. The focus, no, the approach, let's say, no.
yeah, yeah, that is correct. It's totally different, totally different.
What was
Um,
your reason behind the transition? I don't know. You need to a change or I don't know.
this is always a part of the plan. To be honest, I have always been in love with life insurance, so staying
Okay.
in the field was very important for me.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, when I was leading the life division, my focus was mainly on the products, performance results. But over time, I started noticing that many of the limitations we had um, in the company or in delivering new products weren't really about actuarial capability or strategy of the company, because this was going fine, but were mostly about the systems. Because, for example, I remember a situation where we wanted to adjust the product very quickly because of real market pressure. So we really had to adapt quickly if we want to have sales and profit. So we had the business logic clear. The actuarial pricing was ready. This was no issue, but the system changes were much slower than expected.
Mm,
So at some point, we had to issue policies in Word and store information in Excel, which is total nonsense. And
exactly.
that made me curious about what is behind the business, the
Mm,
architecture, the data flows, the
mhm.
structure that of the system that can either enable speed or slow down the progress of the company itself. So for me, after 14 years in life insurance, this transition felt kind of natural. I mean, I wanted to build on top of this. So, as I said, I wasn't leaving the business side because it's always been my passion, but it was more about understanding more deeply from another angle. So, just switching the view from
Mhm, mhm.
the user to the one who is actually part of the system. So basically, this
Which
is
okay. Which part do you prefer? Because now you have the two different
Mhm.
perspective, no? What you say it's your favorite one?
I still haven't spent 14 years in a software company,
Yes, many. Yeah,
but
yeah.
definitely I like my current position better. It's and also it's very interesting to work with many different clients from many
Mm,
different countries, from many different continents. Uh,
mhm.
and it's super interesting to get to know their business, their products, how they function, what they want. It's super interesting for me.
Okay. You would say in Mexico we have a complex regulation operation compared with
And
European, for
yeah,
example.
I would say so. Also, I was a bit surprised of the products of the unit link products that you actually
Mhm,
built and implement. They are also quite complex compared to the European market, more complex. Regulation as well. There is always, for example, tax retention is something usual for life insurance. But for example, here it's super simple. You just apply 20% and that's it. And
and that's all.
whereas
Okay.
in Mexican tax regulation, it's really more complex. It was a challenge to be implemented. But that's why I say it's super interesting.
Okay. 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 Let's move to the next one. What tends to be the most difficult part of working with totally different profile clients?
Mhm.
This is what we discussed previously, no?
Yep. Maybe in addition to that, as um, as I'm mostly from the business part of the implementations and everything, so but usually the technical challenges are solvable. So
Mm-hmm.
you always have a backup and it can be solved. But a more difficult part is the actual alignment, I would say, because as we discussed, every company has a different culture, a different maturity level of the experts, and also different expectations. Mm, uh, Maybe as an example, I previously worked with one client where the actuarial IT and underwriting each had a different idea of what success meant. So everyone was focused on completely different direction. So
Mm,
before solving anything technical, which is the solvable part, we had to align those expectations. And
Mm.
once this alignment happened, then the progress became much faster and visible. So this is something that is really difficult in this
Okay. To align, no, the different
time.
clients before to
And
implement
programs,
anything,
yeah,
no?
yeah.
So you don't implement system, you implement a new dynamic or new flows in the companies, no? Because the system is
Yeah,
the last
basically,
part of
yeah. But
the
changing
implementation,
the
no?
system for an insurance company is a very, very um, tough process because, usually insurance companies are considered to be a bit of not old-fashioned, I would say, but less more adaptable to changes. And building everything in a system is really complex, and you have to convince the client that what you actually will do will be of their benefit. Because
Mm-hmm,
they
mm-hmm,
usually their first reaction is to reject, always
mm-hmm,
reject.
mm-hmm. Why we need to change the way
Really?
because
Why?
it
It
is
works,
working
so don't touch it.
exactly. Don't touch it. This is the this is
But it
the
is
typical phase.
especially valid for insurance company, I would say, because they are really more stable, not so adaptable to such big changes. But it's
Mm-hmm,
normal, I would say. They operate with the client's money. They have to be.
mm-hmm.
Um, but anyways, this is at least what I have experienced.
Okay, okay. Now regarding the typical mistakes, no? That the insurance company do in the transition to to change, no, the operation to a new system, for example, or change the technological infrastructure. What type
Mhm.
of mistakes that you are seeing?
Okay. I think maybe one common mistake is assuming that by only upgrading the technology, this would automatically lead to improved performance. Uh, I have seen cases where a company replaced the core system, but then the underlying processes stayed exactly as they were, exactly the same. So technically, it was modern, but practically nothing much changed. So another thing is underestimating how important data quality and user involvement are, because business users are the one who know how things operate in real life. So if the people who are using the system every day aren't part of the design conversations and what needs to be done, you often discover issues too late. So
Mm,
modernization works better when it's seen as a whole business transformation, not just as a system replacement. And as I said, the business people, the one that actually know how the processes operate, how the business works, they should be really, really involved at the basically at every step, at defining, at testing, and everything. Testing is super, super important, and maybe sometimes it's not taken into consideration enough, but it is the way to find, not just to go through the happy path and say, oh, it's super, but then in production, they try
mhm,
something different, and we have a lot of bugs and issues. So, and these are the business people. They can say, oh, but why do you only issue policies? Start issuing connexes, MTAs, then a second MTA, and now, oh, there is a problem. So That's why I consider this as a very, very important thing and a very common mistake that is done.
Okay. Here I have a question from a student regarding the which type of system the companies prefer, the the modern a modern system or a simple one.
Combination of both. Um,
Okay.
in our modern current world, not modern, I would say that all insurance companies are at the moment focused on selling products via portals, and this is, I think, nowadays a must for an insurance company, and it's basically something that is modern and has to be developed. The actual software system that is used as a calculation engine and storage system that hosts all the operations is used as a backend. So basically,
Mm-hmm.
they need to be modern, and using portals is also supporting the simplicity, because in a portal, what you do to try to make it simple for the client is just to
Mm,
follow a predefined flow. If he doesn't press here, he receives a message or whatever. But then
mm-hmm.
all the complexity, all the difficult part is sent to the core system, the system that will make all the rest, calculations, keeping track, consistency checks, and everything. So I think this is the most common approach nowadays, and it's seems like the correct one.
Okay. Easy in the front
And then, yep,
for the final client, no? Who wants to have a very simple front to interact with the final client, but in the backend, no, in the system, in the in the internal calculation, let's say, a more complex or more modern, no,
yeah, yeah,
more modern
and
system.
yeah, and clients, I mean, insurance companies try to simplify as much as possible the client journey, and also the
Yeah.
underwriting nowadays. What I see is for this is not valid, I think, for Mexican market, but for European, the underwriting and the health questionnaires nowadays are as small as possible, because clients, when they see the big sheet that we used years ago, like 20 questions,
Mm-hmm.
they say, "Oh, no, no, I don't want to do this.
I don't want
I
this.
just want to check, are you ill? No. Have you been taken any medicine? No, and that's it. They don't want to share. They don't want to waste time to fill in questionnaires, and insurance companies need to adapt to this. They have no other choice. Otherwise,
Mm,
they're out of the market.
yes, this is actually what we discussed with George, no? Because in Mexico, typically the underwriting process is manual, no? We
Mm.
don't use a system to to follow this the underwriting procedure. Typically is done by an analyst behind of the questionnaire,
Mhm,
no?
yeah, but just a doctor to
Mhm.
review.
The doctor
Yeah,
receive the questionnaire and make the decision in order to, well, based on the responses, no?
yeah, because the additional system adds on the price, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it works. Why we need to change it?
Yep.
Okay. Uh, how do you ensure that the software solution meet the complexity of the real world, no? For in general, for insurance solution, no, not only for
Mm.
underwriter.
Good question. Um, actually, I what I try to do at least is to spend a lot of time to listening to the people who work in practice. By listening to them, you gain the actual knowledge of what stays behind. If we talk about underwriting, it's full of exceptions. And as we said earlier, if you design a system that works only for the ideal case, it will fail immediately. So when we try to define the processes and the flows, we need to take into consideration all the valid situations that can be predicted. So in one implementation, for example, we tested the system using a complex real underwriting case with multiple exceptions. So multiple
Okay.
exceptions during tests are my favorite one. So
Okay.
it appeared suddenly that the standard cases work perfectly. So everything is according to the book. But
Mhm.
then when the real example with the exceptions was introduced, then some very important gaps before go live became clear, and it was a very critical situation. So that kind of testing makes the difference between just a technically correct solution and a practical one, which would work in the practice and would really solve the daily business situations and business cases that the company has.
Okay, because I imagine in the definition was considered only the, the happy path, no? The no, I
Yeah,
imagine that. And
usually it's like that. Yes, usually it's like that, and that's why we need to do a bit of deep dive and ask questions.
mm,
It's not that people usually. I mean, of course, there are such
mm,
cases that the client, the insurance company representative, just doesn't want to share with you. It's your problem. You need to figure it out. But usually people don't, when asked, unless asked, they don't think of these situations because in your head is how this should work. But then when you start asking, they start thinking, oh, we have to think of another case.
what happened in case
Oh,
of la, 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 la.
yep.
Very complex, very, very complex. Okay, okay. Uh, Advice for the actuarial students who are interested to working in the consulting
Mm.
side. Also working in I don't know in Europe, for example. No, what advice do you give us?
Um, for working in a similar role, I would say that the actuarial education is a very, very good basis to start from. It's really important. And also, my advice would be make sure that you are comfortable with the technical fundamentals because this is what gives you confidence and credibility.
Mm,
Uh, Try to understand how actually the insurance companies operate. So it is what you do actually, talk to underwriters, learn how products are distributed, see how the systems support the daily work. Don't just focus on creating the
the
price
formulas, no?
and the formulas because it's just a part of the whole thing. You don't need to become a developer or a programmer, but
Mm-hmm,
having a basic understanding of how technology works and how the data flows between the systems, that would I think that would make a big difference. And the
mm-hmm,
people who will stand out in the future are those who will be able to connect the risk thinking with business understanding and the digital awareness. So you need to try to take part of each of these things, so that you become really valuable, because you have a view of the total, of the whole picture, and then you can make mm, actually very good decisions, to contribute to the company and to the implementations or everything related to this. So I think it's very important not to focus only on calculations and the formulas, but to try to have to get a part of all the rest.
The whole picture, no, of
And you have a
of
very
the
good
business.
example to follow in the face of Adrian for this.
Okay, okay. And this is to in general to work as a consultant in the insurance sector, no? But if any student wants to migrate to Europe, I don't know, any advice for the students who are interested to work in Europe in some insurance company? The I don't know if you said that, but I imagine that the products are so similar, no, between Mexico and also Europe, or I don't know, something. Any advice around this topic to any student who wants to migrate to Europe
As an
to
actuary
work
in
as
an
a
insurance company.
or as a consultant as well, could be, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it, to gain some knowledge on the business part, the business area, what's important. Also to have some knowledge on the technology. This is something crucial. I think it's also important for an actuary as well.
Sure.
But yep, I don't think that there is some distinct issue, and so much difference of the practice in let's say the Mexican market and in European in general as a life structure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe very big difference is that in European market, um, I think it was agreed like 15 years ago, but we are not allowed to use different pricing for male and female. So we have only unisex
Mm-hmm.
formulas and calculations,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whereas in Mexican market it's not the case. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a very distinct difference. But besides this, I mean, by seeing what the work you prepared and the actuarial formulas and calculations that you have, I would say they are very quite complex, but they are not. They will just um, be a positive experience, and there is no issue for me that you would be able to work in a European company as well.
Okay. Okay. So having the whole picture is enough to if I want to migrate to
Yeah,
Europe, no? Because it's similar the market and the business as well.
and a passport.
Ah, sure. And also the English as well, no? Because it's
Yes,
really
English,
important, no?
English, English. English and Spanish become, I think, more the two languages that are almost that you know, you
Okay.
should
Okay.
know.
Okay. What is just an additional question, eh? What is your opinion about the Mexican actuaries? Now you can say something, no? Because you already have worked with different actors in different countries, no? So what is your opinion about or your impression about
Mhm.
the actuaries in Mexico? The
Uh,
Mexican actuaries.
Mexican actuaries, I have met
Mm-hmm.
a few of them. Um, so to be honest, I was impressed. I in through my whole experience, I have always worked very easily with actuaries. I think they're analytical thinking and the way they consider things is really makes it easy, makes them easygoing to work with, especially for the Mexican actuaries that I have met. I was impressed by the business knowledge that they have. It's actually uh, actuary is equal to a business person as well, and also
Mhm.
you have the it's very important that they very easily get the technical part. Even, for example, in our case, the configuration of the product,
Mhm.
where you need to build some queries to check something in database, actuaries very easily can follow this and can adapt to this and to adapt this in their work, and it's specifically applicable for the Mexican actuaries I have met.
Okay. Okay. And
So
also
only positive
adding
things.
the and also the knowledge, around the business and also the technical
Yeah,
skills, the actuarial skills. It's a good combination
good combination. Yeah.
to insurance company, a consultant, not only here in Mexico, also in Europe, no?
Yep. I agree.
Okay.
Agree.
I don't know if you want to add something to the students to close the session. Eh?
Uh, what I would say is to wish luck everyone, and to don't stop at the actuarial part, as we said already. Try to gain knowledge in different areas. Be curious. Talk to the people. Talk to the business guys. Talk to the underwriters. Talk to the ITs. This is how you would start building your internal knowledge, and things will come by themselves. So just be curious and no, don't be afraid.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much for your time, Larry. So
Thank you for
to
having
share
me. It was
your
really a pleasure.
to share your experience and to invest your time to share, no?
Welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. And well, nos vemos en la siguiente clase, así que sería todo. Así que muchas gracias a todos por unirse. Thank you, Lori, as
Thank
always.
you. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
Bye,
Thank you.
thank
Have a
you.
nice day.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.